Hello everyone, welcome to our latest video, slimwithus.online. Today I'm a little bit excited because it's the Six Nations and Wales are playing Italy. So I'm just going to get ready for that, and before watching the match I thought I would do a sous vide today. We got a couple of lovely steaks here bought from the supermarket. These are just 14-ounce ribeye steaks. You can use any steak that you want. And sous vide basically translates to in a vacuum. So the method of doing it is I vacuum pack these and then we cook them in water using a sous vide gizmo, which I bought actually online. And you set the temperature and this just does its way. It circulates the water in a plastic pot. Now this is one that I actually made. I didn't buy this. I did buy it, but I actually cut out the hole, if you know what I mean, because if you get the proper sous vide container that actually fits in here, they're phenomenal price. And I bought this in one of those pound shops. I think it was, even though it was a pound shop, but I think this was something like $4.99 or $3.99 or something stupid like that. So I cut out the hole and that fits lovely into my sous vide. What you actually do, you fill this up full of water. So it basically goes between the two levels, and this heats the water and circulates it, and you can cook sous vide steak anything between 1 and 3 hours. I found over the years that around about the 2-hour mark is ideal for a steak. I'm going to be cooking these. Once they're done, you can take them out and you can leave them. You can even put them back in the fridge and then take them out the following day. It just breaks down and makes them nice and tender, ready for searing on the griddle. So I've got a nice griddle pan which I'm going to be searing the steaks later on. I will be, like I said, vacuum packing these. I've got a vacuum pack that I purchased a long time ago, actually a few years ago when I was in Spain, but I'm going to be vacuum packing it. I'm going to be sprinkling some salt, pepper, maybe a little bit of rosemary on top, which will be lovely. Okay, moving on then, I'm going to make a bit of a salad, Mediterranean stylish, I don't know really. So I've got some watercress, spinach and rocket, just a standard packet. I got some feta cheese, so just a little bit of feta cheese should be okay. I've got your standard iceberg lettuce. It's got to be used, so I rather than throwing it out, I'm going to chuck that in as well. And I'm going to roast a bit of a carrot, a couple of tomatoes, and a bell pepper, a red one I happen to have, but the choice is yours what you want to throw into them. And then in addition to that, I'm also going to put some potatoes into the roasting tin as well, so I can roast those off. So that will be like the hot part of the salad, and then we'll have some lettuce leaves, rocket and things like that. But anything you want to chuck in your salad, you carry on. Okay, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to move these out the way and put these over here. So they're out your way, and then let me put this on as well. So I know I've got old clothes on today, but I still don't want to get too dirty. Don't want any of the meat juices splashing on me. So anyway, those are the vegetables which I will put in, but the vegetables will they won't actually take that long. I think the vegetables will probably take about less than an hour in the oven, but I can do that as the match finishes and then we crack on. So I'm going to open these. Lovely steaks. Now you can do this with any steak, whatever takes your fancy. We've got ribeye today. And I found as well, sous vide actually tenderizes the steaks very, very well, or any meat very, very well. You can, like I said, I think chicken's nice in there. You can do fish, but fish is easy enough to cook on the stove anyway, and it's never too tough. But if you get a tough piece or cheaper cut of steak, then when you sous vide it, every single time it turns out perfect. Seriously, it's very, very nice, and I wish I cooked everything that way. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pat these down. I want to take out all the type of moisture to start off with, because I'm going to, one there, take this one off as well. Just get rid of the, now these are room temperature, I took them up this morning. That's good. I'm going to wash my hands just to quickly, and then just dry them like that. So let's get some salt, pepper. Where's my rosemary? Have I got rosemary here? That's thyme. Rosemary, there you are, I can see you. Hiding from me, eh? Good. And a nice little bit of rosemary in here. Let's get another piece of kitchen towel. I dropped a potato. Good. Right. Let's just wipe that out a bit. Now, whatever you want to season your steaks is entirely up to you. Just salt and pepper's fine. You can't beat a little bit of salt and pepper. I've got some coarse sea salt here, and this is just standard black pepper, which I'm going to chuck in. Now, Connor did actually ask for me to make a peppercorn sauce, so after the match I will be putting on a peppercorn sauce, and basically it'll be the one that's on the website. Good. So all you need to do, so this is basically the dry rub, and sprinkle it all over. So nice. Good. And wipe it all in. Look at these steaks. Look how thick they are. Lovely. Beautiful. Good. From one of those famous German supermarkets. Nice. I might even dip it in. I'll wash the. There we are, lovely. Chuck that around there, just get around the edges. Waste not, want not. I don't want to waste any of the rub. Lovely. Okay, that can go in the sink. I'm going to wash my hands again, just quickly. Okay, and just to, I'll put these behind me, and then I'm going to get my vacuum pack over. You can get these online. I have seen them on Amazon, but like I said, basically what you do, you get this a reel of this bag stuff, and you cut it to size. So you seal one end. It's straightforward enough. Seal it, and basically you've got a heat bar, and it seals in. And oh, there's somebody at the door. And then I'll cut this with this, and then you put your steak in there. Bear with me 2 seconds. There's somebody at the door. It's okay, it's only my son disturbing me. So, once you've got your bag, and basically put your steak in, That's it. Align that up. Suck all the air out. It automatically stops and seals itself then when you're done, or when it's done, which is brilliant. Okay, and that vacuum packed steak is what you actually put submerged in the water. So I'm going to do the next bag for the second steak. Now, if I knew my son was turning up today, I'd have bought more steaks. Seal the one side, pair of scissors, and just cut it off to size. Brilliant. Steak number 2 goes in. Nice. And again, I'm going to just wash my hands. Brilliant. And then vacuum. It's as easy as that. Now these are also ideal. I think I've told you before, I'm a great believer in batch cooking, and you can put them in Tupperware and put them in the fridge, but you can also vacuum pack them and put them in the freezer, and then when you take it out in the morning, come home from work, it's already defrosted, and you can even cook it in the bag or heat it up in the bag in the microwave. Just put a little piercing hole in there so it doesn't explode, and happy days. And then just open it up, put it on your plate. Brilliant. Okay, so let's move on quickly. So we've got my homemade container. We fill this up, put the steaks in. We fill this up with cold water. And like I said, the level has to be in between the minimum. If you do get one of these online, they're all pretty much the same. You've got a minimum and a maximum. So basically you make sure that these are submerged. So it's in between the two. Let me wipe this down. And this, because I've got rosemary, salt and pepper everywhere. And then I can put this back. I'm actually using water from the hot tap. It's not boiling, it's lukewarm. And that just helps it along, really, to be honest with you. It's, if you put cold water in there, then it takes a little bit longer to get up to temperature. And with the lid, put that on there. Get your sous vide heater and just put it in like that, and just double check the level exactly right. So it's not at the top, it's not at the bottom, and plug that in. Yeah, brilliant. And you set the temperature now. My experience is 55 degrees, medium rare. 50 degrees I think is rare. You can actually go up to 70 degrees for well done. Something like 55 degrees is what I set it at to. Just Google the temperature, because different meat cuts, different, you know, like fish or like chicken and things like that, or even vegetables, if you wanted to do vegetables in here, will have different times. But there's plenty of information online for sous vide. So I'm just going to turn this on, and I'm going to set it's defaulted at 60 degrees. I'm going to set this at 55. Good. Start. It actually tells me the temperature is already 36 degrees, so that's basically the temperature that came out of my hat. And you leave that. You leave it you basically keep the lid on, okay, because the water will get up to like 50, 55 degrees, whatever you set it at, and the water will tend to evaporate. If you leave the lid on, it won't evaporate nowhere near as much, and you don't have to keep on topping it up. So that's a good thing. Just get one of these in the pound shop and you're the way to go. These are online, like I said, Amazon readily available. Okay, once these are done, I will come back. I'm going to make the salad later on. I'm going to put the veggies in, just chop them up and put them in the oven to roast for about an hour before we start eating, and then the salad won't take any time at all. So come back later and we'll see the steaks. Okay everyone, welcome back. It's basically 4:30 now, so this steak's been in for roughly 2.5 hours. So that's more than enough to switch your unit off. And basically you can take these out and you can leave them cool down and cook them at a later date, which I'm going to do tonight because it's 4:30. I'm not going to cook them for another hour and a half, 2 hours. So let's take this out and then we can unplug. Brilliant. So just leave that laying over the sink, and as you can see, these are nice and juicy steaks. So let me get a plate where I can just put these on and basically let them cool down. Like I said, I'm not going to cook them yet. I'm going to leave it for another hour or so, hour and a half maybe, before cooking them. But before we actually pan fry these, and don't worry, bear with me, because I'll do this in real time with you all. When we pan fry these, I'm going to dry them out as well, because you can see there's natural juices in the bag. So this water can be discarded now. Yes, I got one of these. I can take this off because this is a little bit wet, but I'm just going to leave these now to relax a little bit before actually cooking them. Okay, so I'm going to prepare the vegetables for pan frying. Let's get my pan ready, and then I can also preheat my oven. Good. So basically that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to just, these tomatoes, basically they're at the bottom of the fridge. They need to be used, so I'm going to use these today as well. So I'm going to have roasted tomatoes. I've got a bell pepper here. You can use green, you can use red, you can use yellow ones. It's entirely up to you. And I've also got a bit of a carrot, which again was at the bottom of the fridge. And I've also got these baby potatoes. I'm just going to chuck a handful of these in because I do like these when they're actually roasted. So it's like a little mini roast potato, and then I slice them in half or quarters, it's up to you, and then add them to the actual salad as well. Okay, so let me get my peeler. So the chopping board cam is recording, and I'm just going to take off the two ends and peel the carrot. And it doesn't really matter how you cut the carrot, it's up to you, but I do like it in nice chunks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quarter it. So we got the quarters, and then from the quarters diagonally I'm going to put them into bite-sized pieces, just something like that, to once they're roasted. And doing them this size means that the oven's not on too long, and the cooking process will be a lot quicker. So let me put these here. Probably put them by here is better for you so you can see them. So that's the carrot. The tomatoes, and to be honest with you, the tomatoes can be quartered as well. There's no point in being too fancy with these tomatoes. They're nice and ripe, and to roast these and then just put them in the salad is ideal. Put them on there, and then the bell pepper, which basically is entirely up to you how you want to do it, to be honest with you. What I think I might do is put it into rings, nice chunky rings. So take the top off, pop the end off, and there's one, and then the actual heart of the, just grab it with your fingers, twist it a little bit and pull it out. There is pith and white bits on here, so if you wanted to, you can always get just a small knife to actually cut the pith out. There's not much flavour to the pith, and it can be a little bit bitter, so you can cut that out, no problem. And then just again with your fingers, just rip it out. It's not too difficult. But once you've got all the seeds out, like that, then you can just cut it into slices. And I'm going to cut them into pretty big slices. Like that. No problem at all. So they're going on the plate as well. So with my veggies, here's my roasting pan. Just get your roasting pan. No problem. Now we do need a little bit of fry light with these vegetables, and give it a bit of a spray. And with these, I'm not really going to add much, just a little bit of seasoning to it. Now actually, thinking about it, if you remember earlier, I added rosemary to the steak. So in here we got salt, pepper, rosemary, and marinated the steak, so it's been cooked in the, so that's got a little bit. So what goes well with rosemary? Maybe a little bit of thyme. Let's get some thyme. So I need my glasses. Where's my glasses? And get some thyme, which I will probably, yeah, there's the thyme. So just a pinch of thyme, sprinkle over your veggies, which will make that nice. So get them all nice, and then roast them in the oven. Now my oven's set at 160. It's probably, oh, forgot the potatoes. Bear with, just need a handful of these, because maybe 3 per person. There's myself and my son. Just bung these in. They can go. Good. Like I said, I'm going to roast them roughly 1 hour. Once they're done, then I'm going to bring them out. And I'm not going to add them to the salad straight away, because I don't want them to actually wilt or cook any of the leaves, because I like my lettuce leaf nice and crisp, and the rocket and everything nice and fresh. And I'm going to cut up the feta cheese and just sprinkle that over the top. I'm also, I noticed I got some sweet corn, and I've got some beetroot in the fridge. That's got to be used. I'm going to cut that up and add that as well. And I'm going to put a few olives and some gherkins in, just because that's how I roll. I just love that type of food. So yeah, leave them in for an hour. Once they're done, I'm going to open these up. Again, dry them off, but this time I am going to use a little bit of oil on them before I pan fry them, and then I'm going to see them off. And literally sealing them off, you're talking about 2-3 minutes either side, because they are already cooked. just think the problem with sous vide is that when you take this out, they do look anemic, and everyone likes the look of a steak which is pan fried or char grilled or done on the barbecue or whatever. So I'm going to dry that off, and we're going to just sear it, and that's 2-3 minutes either side, and basically that's done, and we're going to plate up. Good, so I'll see you in roughly 1 hour, and we're going to pan fry and sear our steaks. So everyone, I'm in a pretty good mood. Wales beat Italy in the rugby, so that's good. We're on our way to a Grand Slam, so everything should be on track there, no problem at all. I'm just going to prepare the salad ready for the roasted vegetables to be added, and then once I finish, we're going to sear the steaks in the griddle pan, so everything's cool. I'm just wondering what else I can add to the salad. So I got some watercress, spinach and rocket leaves just in a bag that you buy in the supermarket. I've also got some lettuce which needs to be used up, so I'm going to use it. I found beetroot, which I've had for a while actually, but the sell by date, or the use by date, sorry, is July 21, so that can be used. I've also got some green olives, black olives, found some sweet corn, got to be used, and I've got some gherkins. Actually, maybe I will add some, yes, a couple of jalapeno peppers. I do like a little bit of spice, and I've got the feta cheese which we're going to crumble in. So let's sort this out. I've got a big plate. I told my son that we're going to have some salads, and he went, can I have chips? So I am going to put in some frozen chips, but that's just for him. So today I'm only going to make a salad for myself. So let's go over to the chopping board. I'm just going to do this rather quickly. It's going to be straightforward enough. There's nothing too special about this. So regarding the lettuce itself, I'm not really one for washing lettuce. So what I tend to do, you get the lettuce itself, just take off the outer leaf just in case there's any dirt in there. But generally speaking, I've never washed lettuce in my life. So I'm going to chuck that in. And if you do want to wash your lettuce, the choice is yours, it's entirely up to you. Get the rocket. I'm just going to have a handful of this. Chuck that in. That's good. Then the beauties, the gems that comes in all these jars. Unbelievable things you can buy today. Olives. Now, because we're Slim with Us friendly, we got to be careful. So I'm only going to be putting in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. I'm also going to be putting in 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. 1, 2, 3. Let's get one more. So they do count. You have to count your units on the olives. Now the gherkins, I believe, are free. You can chuck as many as you want. Don't worry. The jalapenos are definitely free. And you can leave the jalapenos if you don't like spice. I do. Spice is the variety of life. I'm also going to add in my sweet corn. This was tin sweet corn. Opened it the other day, so I'm actually going to put all of it in. It's got to be used. Waste not, want not. Good stuff. And then, so these can go to the side. Then I'm just going to open this. I'm going to open the feta cheese. Let's chop this down slightly. So over to here, let's get my small knife, and I might need a plate for the beetroot. be careful when you're opening this beetroot, because the juices of the beetroot do stain. If you get that on your clothes, it's not good. The rest of it I'll actually put into a Tupperware box, put it back in the fridge, and I'll eat that over the next few days, so don't worry about it. But using a small knife, I'm just going to cut this up into bite-sized pieces. Nice little squares. I love beetroot. Good, I'm just going to leave that on the plate, put that to the side a little bit, and then the feta cheese. So again, the feta cheese, I'm not going to use it all because we are Slim and Wheel friendly. I'm going to use a different knife. I don't want to get beetroot on the feta cheese, so I'm just going to take off the amount that I actually want. And then I'm going to weigh it just to be sure, because as you know, you have to count your units for the feta cheese. So if I put a Tupperware pot on my scales and weigh that, and that is roughly 38 gram. So 38 gram feta, which is fine. So, and this, I am just going to cut it up into little cubes. You can crumble it if you want. As I'm cutting it, it is crumbling. So, but I am going to put it into like bite-sized cubes, and then that'll do. Basically sprinkle that over your lettuce and your salads. Now, like I said, when I add the hot vegetables, I don't want them to be too hot because I don't want them to wilt the actual lettuce leaves, but if it does, don't worry, because it will also melt the cheese a little bit and give you that nice type of texture. So regarding the beetroot, again, this is already cut up into chunks. Now I can just pile this on. Good. And then our concoction of jalapenos, olives, gherkins, and sweet corn. And that is an unbelievable salad. Let me show you. Maybe you can't see very well on there. It's a little bit dark, that camera. It's because the sun's gone down, and I think but as you can see, that is an unbelievable salad. And I like to add a dressing at the table. Now, I have found, bear with, this basically is a vinaigrette dressing. It is fat-free. It is from the German supermarkets, well-known cheap supermarkets, and I think you can get that for next to nothing. I like to add this at the table. The thing is, if I start adding it now, then other things can start, like water retention that's in the vegetables can actually come out. And even salt, if you wanted to season it, salt and pepper, do that at the table, because even salt will actually extract all the actual natural liquids in the salads and the veggies. So don't do that quite yet. So let me get some cling film, because we've still got quite a bit of time for the roasted vegetables to be done. But once the roasted vegetables are done and they're cooling, that's when we're going to pan sear our steak. So just literally keep that and that until you're ready. Good, so we're ready to go with that. Let's put that back in there. The other bits and bobs can go back in the fridge. I will Tupperware the beetroot so that doesn't go to waste. And then we're just waiting for our vegetables, take them out, cool them down, and we go on to our steaks, really. That's basically it. I hope you're all following, and I hope you're enjoying what we've actually done so far. Any questions, just drop a comment below and I'll try and answer them for you. If you've got any requests as well, if you want me to do anything that, something that your favourite foods or your favourite dishes or something like that, and you're not confident in whether it's going to be Slim With Us friendly, so basically just let us know and we'll try and sort out the ingredients for you to make them Slim With Us friendly. Good, okay, right, until the next time or until later, see you soon. Yeah. Okay everyone, welcome back. I think I've already mentioned to you that we won basically Italy 48-7, which is great. I just looked at the game as well between England and France, and England seem to be beating France, so that's also a good one, which puts us into a good position. Anyway, I'm back to sealing this steak off, so let's crack on, shall we, and get this dish sorted. My son's come down about 3 times saying, what time's food, what time's food, what time's food. So let's crack on. Anyway, we got the salad. You've already seen this one put together. I've got some vinaigrette dressing, and it's just like a French dressing, any dressing you really want, but make sure that it's a low fat, low carb one, low calorie one, so that'd be great. Now regarding these steaks, so you can leave them in the packet, and you can, these are nice and cool now basically, but we do need to reheat them, and we reheat them during the searing process. So don't worry about if you get these out of the fridge. Just let them get to room temperature like you would with a normal steak, and then you can see them 2 to 3 minutes either side. So the only reason we're doing this really more than anything, because these are cooked, the only reason we're doing this more than anything is for the look, the way they look. Because at the moment when I take these out and dry them off, you'll see they're a little bit anemic, which is, hey, listen, nothing wrong with it, I'd eat it, but a lot of people like they'd actually taste with their eyes as well as their nose and their mouth. So we are going to see those off so they look like a nice steak. I've got a char grilled griddle here, which we're going to use as well. During the rugby and the half time, I did actually Google for you. When you're doing steaks between 1 and 3 hours, it doesn't really matter, but I had mine on for 2.5 hours. For rare, you need to roughly 51.6 degrees Celsius. Medium rare, 54.4 degrees Celsius. Now I did put mine on 55, so I've always, why I've used 55 is something I've always done. So anyway, medium 60 degrees C, and also then well done 71 degrees C. Now like I said, it doesn't really matter if you do this for 1 hour or 3 hours. Basically it all depends on the cut of meat, and the longer you do it, the more tender it's going to be. But if you've got a good cut of meat, you can get away with an hour. Seriously, actually, if you've got a good cut of meat, you can just slap it on a pan and it'll turn out amazing. But if you have got a less quality cut of meat, and sous vide is the best way to go. It's the way forward. Seriously, for if you're on a budget, sous vide all day long, every day. And I like mine, as I said, medium rare. So anyway, done a little bit of Googling for you so you don't have to. The salad is ready, the dressing is ready. Let's dry these steaks off. So pair of scissors, just open them up. Be careful, there's a lot of juices inside, okay? Chuck that away and just lift the steak out gently, because you don't want, if you remember rightly, I put salt, pepper and rosemary on here. You don't want to scrape any of that by lifting it out. So just get that out and just lay it on your plate. You see how much juices is actually in here? We need to dry this out because I want to add a little bit of fry light to this, only so I can add it to the griddle pan, more than anything. And you will find your own method and what you like for this. Sous vide is, seriously, is an art in itself. But once you get used to cooking in this fashion, there's no turning back, to be honest with you. Okay, just let it drip. Get rid of the majority of the juices and let that sit down. You see the juices, which we're going to discard. There's nothing wrong with those juices if you want to make a little sauce. Actually, my son wants a peppercorn sauce, which I'm going to do, which is from the rest of the, actually on the website, is from the recipes that we actually recommend. But basically, these steaks are going to air dry, and then I'm going to add in the fry light, which I used earlier. This is the fry light. I'm just going to spray that on, turn them around, and spray it on again. And that's it, seriously, for the fry light and go away. So as you can see, this steak is going to be not cooked in loads of oil. It's just going to be seared like that. It's got the rosemary, it's got the salt and pepper on it. Excellent, and that's all ready to go. So let me check my veggies. Like I said, they've been in they've been in nearly an hour. Let me just check the veggies. Ah, excellent. Right, okay, so the point I'm trying to make is these veggies are now cooked. So they're roasted vegetables. So I've got peppers in here, I've got carrots in here, I've got little baby potatoes in here, and I'm just going to let these cool down. Because I don't want them to, let's put them on there, I don't want them to actually wilt any of the salad leaves. So I want them to be less than room temperature, to be honest with you. So it's like a warm, cold salad type of mix. Anyway, let's crack on. So ideally for this, the pan needs to be searing hot. So put your pan on a high heat, and literally just using the palm of your hand, you can actually tell how actually hot they are. If it's not searing hot, then it tends to a little bit of a, I suppose, stew. But we want to sear this immediately. Even though they are cooked, I do want this to be searing hot. So I'll turn that down a little bit because it's over the edge. But you'll understand what I mean in a minute. Good. With this, I'm going to serve my homemade wine. I've got a dark fruits homemade wine. It's a homemade red here, which is amazing to die for. I don't even buy wine from the shops anymore. I make my own. It's so easy to make a wine. And if you want a video on that, please send me some comments. On the roasted vegetables are cooling down nicely. So let's get this up. And like I said, 3 or 4 minutes. Seriously, either side, probably about 3 minutes either side is enough. Once that's done, our vegetables are basically done, which I'm going to add to the salad later. And now these are at room temperature, so it doesn't matter. They're not going to wilt. They got a little bit of heat to them, but they're not going to cook any of the veggies. And you can see there we got some roasted vegetables to add to our salad. Brilliant. So that's good. This can go ready for washing. So now the most important thing is the griddle pan has to be searing hot, really. So keep this on for a little bit on a medium-high heat. And I believe 5 minutes maybe. But you can tell anyway. Use the palm of your hand, just to, and if you can feel whoa, and then you know it's ready. That's what I do. It's not rocket science. Rocket science is good. I've already showed you that my homemade wine. I've already started. Like I mentioned to you, it is the rugby today, and we did win, so I am celebrating. And you just need to sear this just a couple of minutes on either side. No more than 4 minutes. Otherwise, you start cooking inside as well in the middle. We just wanted to sear the outside. Yeah, lovely. I can feel it. You can actually feel the heat, which is brilliant. So, the steak, which is sous vide, and the second one, put the plate in the wash. I don't need that. And I will wash my hands just to get rid of the juices. And we are talking, probably better to, rather than using the clock, to actually use a stopwatch on this. So if I go over to my stopwatch, well, we've probably been on maybe 30 seconds, 20-30 seconds. So let's put a stopwatch. Stop, reset, start. So let's leave that for 2.5 minutes, which will be 3 minutes in total. And then we'll flip them over. You can smell the rosemary. The vegetables were cooked with thyme, which is, they just marry together brilliantly. There will be some moisture coming out of these steaks, obviously, because they were sous vide into a vacuum packed pouch, so all the natural juices are still inside. Don't forget, these have rested, but they might need more resting after the sous vide, after the searing. I just want to get some colour on these. I'm going to dish up just to show you guys. I'll do the one dish because my son wants chips with his. Kids, eh? So we are roughly at 2.5 minutes. So I'm just going to turn these over. Look at that. Lovely. And I'll do another 2.5 minutes this side. I will actually turn the extractor on at this stage. If the noise is a little bit too much on the camera, I do apologise, but it might get a little bit too smoky in here. And what I want to do before I eat this. I just want to cut into the middle of the steak just to show you how succulent it actually is. Okay, another 60 seconds. I'll take them off, we'll rest them for a bit. I recommend about 5 minutes resting time, to be honest with you. But we are just trying to get some heat through this. And you can actually tell that if you use your finger on your pouch of your thumb here, I'm not sure what it's called, but if you test the firmness of it, you can tell it's well done, medium or rare. These are actually rare or medium rare. Okay, we're coming up to it. I can turn that off. You can use the residual heat to actually cook that through, and we should be good. I hope you can see me through the smoke. Okay, we're at 5 minutes, so I can stop and reset my iPhone. I can go into my pocket. Oh, look at that, unbelievable. Okay, so lovely. And I'm just gonna let that rest. Only just to let the natural fibers in the meat to mellow and just to relax. It will reduce, it might release some juices, but that's not a bad thing. So regarding the salad, if you remember rightly, I made this Mediterranean salad earlier. I spiced it up a little bit with a few jalapenos because that's what I like. I've also put in some beetroot, and I've also put in some sweet corn because they were at the bottom of my fridge. They needed to be used. But we got rocket and some normal lettuce in here, which is brilliant. And I've also got my roasted vegetables. Now I'm not going to add all these because my son is going to have some of them. So I'm just going to add half of these to my salad. And don't worry that these are roasted today, and the salad, I'm still going to Tupperware, because this is just for myself. I'm still going to Tupperware it up. So half this in here. They can go for my son. Actually, I'll have an extra tomato. Put that by there. And then just using a couple of spoons, I just toss it around a little bit. And I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to dress this with a vinaigrette at the table and add salt at the table. And the reason I didn't do it an hour ago, half an hour ago, is because if you do that, then it starts extracting the liquids from the salads, and also starts cooking it slightly. Sorry, I did drop a bit of beetroot. Hey, listen, I'm a simple guy. Beetroot, a bit of lettuce, I'm happy. No, that's no word of a lie. I think simple foods are the best foods, and I'm going to eat that and dress that at the table. Good. So let's dish up this steak, and then I can add my, where did I, there they are. So you can see the juices that's come out of the, and maybe you can't see it, I can't tell, but you can see the juices that's come out of the steak. It's not a lot, but there are juices that's come out. So let's put that on there, and I just want to maybe move it over to the chopping board, and I just want to cut into it just so you can actually see how tender. Excellent. So I'm just going to cut into this steak, and this is medium rare. You can see it's slightly pinkish in the middle. Listen, sorry, you can see it's slightly pinkish. Maybe you couldn't see on the camera the first time, but this is slightly pinkish in the middle, seared on the outside, and seriously, you need to try this. That's sous vide cooking stick. I think it was 40 euro. It's the best thing I've ever bought. That is the best succulent steak you'll ever taste. Seriously. Okay, so just to show you the finished article. So we've got our roasted vegetables, we got our salad, we got our feta cheese. I'm going to put this in with our olives, sweet corn, new potatoes, roasted potatoes, jalapenos, and they said to me on Slim With Us that you should fill your plate up with these superfoods, and the majority of this is superfoods. Seriously, unbelievably beautiful and delicious, with a homemade glass of wine. What more could you ask for? Wales won. Got steaks to celebrate, good food, good wine, good company, and a good win. Okay, well, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the sous vide lesson. It might not have been the best lesson in the world, but it's basically my take on what I do when I sous vide a steak. And like I said earlier, hopefully you'll subscribe to this channel and you'll get notifications, and if you like it, please like. It all helps towards our audience. And if you've got any questions or if you've got any requests, please don't hesitate, send them in. We'll answer you, and we'll adjust your recipes accordingly, and we'll try and cook them live. Until the next time, see you soon. Goodbye.